Okay, welcome to the March 25th committee meeting of the Albany County Industrial Development Agency. We'll start with a roll call. I'm Bill Murphy and I'm present.
Anton Rosen, present.
And Wanda is excused, so we do have a quorum for the meeting and we'll move forward. Pardon me?
Wanda's in transit.
In transit,
She's
okay.
not coming.
Oh,
No,
she's not coming
she
at
just
all?
called.
Not coming at all. It's the update, I guess.
Nothing personal, I'm sure.
The minutes for the prior meeting were distributed with the board pack, meeting of November 5th. For a motion to approve the minutes of the November 5th meeting.
Motion.
Second, so the motion carries. The first item on the agenda is the 2025 audit report. We have here with us Brendan Kennedy from the auditing firm of BST. And it looks like he has a presentation ready for us, so we're going to let him take the floor and give us his presentation.
Thank you, good sir. Can everyone hear me okay? All right. Here today to present the results of our audit for the 2025 financial statements. There's a brief presentation here in front of you. I'll walk you through that. I'll walk you through the different deliverables that you have in your package, and obviously there'll be ample time for any questions, comments, or concerns that you folks might have. Turning the cover page, our table of contents, I'll give a brief summary, talk about the areas of focus, and then go through some required communications. So those are all found on pages 3, 4, and 5 of the printout. So in the deliverables, you're going to see one addition when you compare this. If you were to compare this exercise to the prior year, we have, in addition to our auditor's report on the financial statements, we have also a report on compliance with investment guidelines. And then going not in linear order here, we have our required communication, or our GAS report, which accompanies the financial statement. So 3 deliverables. The agency delved into the investment market with some U.S. Treasuries, and under the authority's budget office requirements, it triggers an actual examination of compliance with laws and regulations. So a little extra work we had to do as it relates to investments. And we'll summarize those results in a moment here. So, we worked with Amy. We touch base generally in the November-December timeframe, coordinate, the different things we're going to need. Amy and her team, both are former BST people and have been through the audit process before. And they have all their records really ready to us by the early mid-January, late January timeframe. We do the bulk of the work remotely. And we had all the work done in the February timeframe, which is ample time for us to draft the reports and get them to you, all with the goal of meeting the March 31st, 2026 deadline. We have 90 days to button everything up and have it filed with the ABO. So work was substantially completed in February. No internal control or compliance matters identified. And then we plan to issue unmodified opinions on both the financial statements and your investment compliance report. Unmodified opinion is the highest level of assurance that we can give you, the board, that the financial statements are free of material error. So clean opinions on both of the 2 reports. And again, we have 1 extra report this year because of our investments. We tried to get out of it, but the ABO said no.
Is that the 201.3
That's
report?
exactly.
I was very unclear about what all that was about, but so you just answered that question.
It's exactly what it is, and quite frankly, it takes more time to go through the administrative burden of filling out forms than to do the actual audit work. So it was it'd be one thing if you were the Thruway Authority and you had hundreds of millions of dollars in investments or millions of dollars in investments, but we had one little treasury bond that we had to go through the exercise. Obviously, a treasury bond is perfectly allowable under
the bond or the
T-bill.
T-bill.
T-bill. Okay,
Yeah.
so it wasn't a bond.
Yeah.
Okay.
T-bill. secured by, so obviously U.S.
Full
Treasury.
faith and credit of the United States government.
That's right.
But there's a convexity duration.
Yep. So anyways, all right. Areas of focus largely consistent with the prior year. We do cash confirmations. We go through your cash and investment reconciliations. We look at your disbursements, receipts, sampling those kinds of transactions. We do consider fraud in the conduct of a financial statement audit. Those things may include inquiries of management and other personnel here. They may include the certain audit procedures such as review of journal entries and other tests. Nothing came to our attention that would suggest any derogatory matters or any matters that would cause us concern while conducting the audit. We consider the financial statement preparation process. Like I said earlier, Amy and her team are well prepared. There's no audit issues whatsoever, no audit adjustments, and so the financial statements come together pretty cleanly as a result of their preparedness. And then finally, we did have to dive into the compliance with New York State investment laws and regulations. That's that ABO requirement when you carry investments, and so there's some extra reports I think that they internally had to prepare in addition to the examination report that we issued. So the last item here, there's a separate deliverable that goes through required communications. These are all fairly prescriptive that the AICPA requires us to make. I'm not going to walk through that report in detail because I have these items summarized here. Accounting policies and practices. There were no significant changes. We found the policies and practices of the agency to be reasonable. Again, no audit adjustments or uncorrected misstatements. That's a good thing. When you have none, that means that the data that was presented to us and that's opined on these financial statements is the same data that your finance people presented to me at the commencement of the audit. So no disagreements, no consultations with other accountants. If Amy or her team or the management team were to ask me a question and they didn't like my answer and they wanted to go consult with another CPA, that would be something that I would communicate to you folks. We're not aware of any of that. No significant issues discussed and no difficulties. And so there's no other written communication between us and management other than the management representation letter. That's an annual letter that we give to management to sign, just indicating that they provided us with all the things that we've requested. So we did obtain everything we were looking for as part of the audit. We received the full cooperation. And therefore, as I indicated in the executive summary, it's our intent to issue unmodified opinions on all of your reports. If there's any questions about the financial statements or the conduct of our audit, more than happy to address them. And as I like to remind, the audit committees, I do work for you folks. So if you think of questions tomorrow, the next day, or weeks or thereafter, you're welcome to contact me at any point. My contact information is in this presentation. Always happy to follow up with you and address any concerns you might have.
And as part of that required communications, there was a verification of your independence with respect to the agency. That's part of that report as well. That's part of our responsibility, I think, to confirm with the authority's budget office. So thank you. I don't know if anyone has any specific questions of Brendan. If not, we have several resolutions with respect to the audit that it says Chris Canada, but I think it's going to be Shannon.
Sorry, you got me today.
So we got the first string today.
We got the better end of that.
Yeah, we got the first string instead of Chris, so that's good. Just kidding, but maybe Shannon, if you could lead us through the various resolutions and we can hopefully move through that. I think most of them are things for the audit committee to adopt and recommend to the full board, which will be following very shortly after this meeting is over.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, you have 4 resolutions on your agenda here. Kevin, Amy, Sarah, and Antoinette had reached out to us wanting to follow the procedure that the Alliance and the County Pine Hills Land Authority use for their audit procedures. So that's what these resolutions kind of mirror. This first resolution in front of you confirms the independence of the auditor. So confirming that Brendan has not performed your audit for more than 5 years in a row, because that needs to change. The auditor performing the work, not necessarily the firm, but the actual individual performing the work needs to change every 5 years. And then it also authorizes them to perform non-audit services. So in the public authorities law, there are certain non-audit services that the audit committee needs to approve if you're wanting BST as the auditor to perform those services. Do you want me to walk through all three, or do you want to take a vote on each one?
So I'll make the motion to adopt the resolution, I guess.
One question I have is that there's under the people that are on the actual committee, it looks like, Bill, you're the chairman. There's a blank, and then Wanda, do we have a quorum?
Yes, and Tom's a member of the
Oh,
committee.
okay.
Yeah, there was, I guess, a previous issue with respect to Anacon's
Yeah.
eligibility, and
Okay,
it seems
right.
like that's probably been
It worked its
resolved, I'm
way out.
guessing.
Excellent. Yes. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But all right, so the motion carries.
Those are all things also we track independently at BST. We have our own quality control department that monitors partner rotation requirements and things of the sort. So we're well versed in that requirement.
So the next resolution that you have is the resolution recommending approval of the 2025 audited financial statements and the 2025 independent audit. So Brendan just presented that all to you. So this resolution would be your recommendation to the full board to adopt and approve those audited financials.
Right, so we have an unqualified opinion. We have no disagreements between the auditor and staff. So it seems as though we should be approving the audited financial statements. So I would put forth the motion to accept the resolution as drafted.
Second.
So that motion carries 2-0. Next, third resolution, Shannon.
Yes. So the next resolution is the resolution conducting an annual review of the audit committee charter. The audit committee charter is available in your policy manual, which is available on your website. We also maintain a copy in our system. We haven't made any changes to the charter, but it does require that you review it annually, and it's also recommended in the public authorities law that you review it annually. We took a look at it. It's consistent with industry standards, so we wouldn't recommend any changes, and this resolution just documents and approves the current charter.
What types of things might be in that charter? Any items of significance?
It doesn't require you to conduct the annual audit, recommend enforcement matters to the full board, recommend any changes to the auditor or other professionals that you employ. It requires you to meet at least twice annually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the resolution as drafted.
Second.
That motion carries. And finally, the motion with respect to the assessment of the effectiveness of internal controls.
Yes. So the public authorities law requires your lead staff, your management, to perform a review of your internal controls annually. So your internal controls are basically steps to ensure that none of your funds or fiduciary duties are being unilaterally conducted. So for example, most IDAs have a requirement that when one individual is signing a check, somebody else is confirming that that check is being signed. So your CEO and your CFO conducted a review of the internal controls. I've not been made aware of any major red flags, but this documents that review.
Right, and I do note there was a memo that was attached as exhibit to one of the reports that Brendan's firm put forth. So seems like we're all in order there as well. Make a motion to accept the resolution as drafted.
Second.
So that motion carries. There's no reason for executive session that I'm aware of, so I would make the motion that we adjourn.
Second.
We are adjourned.
You have to log off and log back on again.